Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakar Kodash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. This is a PSA. I repeat, this is a PSA, a public service announcement. I'm going to entitle this video, "If you are rocking dreadlocks, you will burn in the lake of fire." If you are rocking dreadlocks, whether you're man or woman, you will burn in the lake of fire. Any Israelite man or any Israelite woman rocking dreadlocks, you will burn in the lake of fire. Samson didn't have dreadlocks. He had braids. He had 7 braids. He had cornrows. Not no funky ass dreadlocks. Anyway, this came to me. Oh, this is the way of the heathen. Matter of fact, I'll go to this. Let me go here. You rocking dreadlock, you might as well eat a pork chop sandwich. Some scrimp. Anyway, Jeremiah 10. Hear ye, Jeremiah 10, verse 1 and 2. Hear ye the word which Yahweh spaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen. And what does it mean, way? It means anything that they do. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Learn not the way of the heathen. Don't do what the heathen do. For the custom is a fancy way of saying a law, an unwritten law. For the customs of the people are vain. Now, this is just one practice of the heathens. It's talking about anything that you do that the heathens do. Jake is worshiping a white so-called Jesus, Caesar Borgia. That's the way of the heathens. That's the way of the other nations. For the customs, not custom, which is the tree, is customs. Tattoos, people get tattoos because it's a custom. People get nose rings and septum rings and don't deal with no bitch that got a septum ring. That's the nastiest bitch out there. Don't deal with her. Don't deal with no bitches with tattoos on them. Especially a whole lot of tattoos. They're freaks. So let me look up the word vain. You can't be an Israelite and follow the ways of the heathens. And you got guys in GMS that got locks. Y'all need to cut them fucking locks. Cornrows. Cornrows, okay, Samson had cornrows. He had 7 perfectly tied up cornrows. He didn't have no dreadlock. He didn't have, and like Yeshua said, Samson had 7 locks, not 700. Let's look up the word vain. Vapor, breath, vapor, vanity. Vanity means wickedness. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. Dreadlocks is a vanity. It's vain. So the reason why let me come back over here. Okay. The reason why I put this video together was a video that the Apostle Gabar had put up. He just put it up 32 minutes ago. So many things wrong here. So many. So this is a video that he did based upon a video that I just did concerning IUIC Riley. And the first thing he noticed was this guy has kind of, you can say, dreadlocks. All right? And part of the law is not to follow the way of the heathens, right? That's why the Lord said when you go among the Canaanites, utterly destroy them. Don't make marriages with them. Your sons to their daughters, your daughters to their sons. Utterly destroy them, utterly kill them. Whatever goods they have, silver, gold, do not take it. There was this, what was his name? Achan, I believe his name was. Help me out, I'm not going to look for it. Where he took a Babylonian beautiful garment from a Canaanite when he was supposed to burn everything and destroy everything and not take anything of the Canaanites. And what happened to him? He wound up getting put to death. And I believe his family got put to death too, if I'm not mistaken. I hadn't read that story in a while. So right about here, this is 11 minutes, 38 seconds in. And he goes into the, and then, now I remember this because Apostle Gabar did a video on this, or a couple of videos on this about dreadlocks. This was almost 20 years ago. This is when we first got on YouTube, maybe 2008, 2009. And he mentioned Shiva. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Let me let this play. So for the ones you say, you mean the Most High ain't going to save us? If we got dreadlocks, we've been doing the work. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. Do the work of the Most High and wear a dress and high-heeled shoes and wear a wig. You being the man. Let's see if you get lifted up, beamed up in them ships. All right. So let me just let it play.
Yeah. Well, let's go down the line. Number one, what are you looking at when you look at this guy to the left of your screen? What's the first thing you notice? He has that long hair. Okay? Now the Apostle Paul spoke out against that. And you'll see that you have many members that join the IUIC that have long hair, dreadlocks, long braids or long dreadlocks. Okay? And honestly, that's a heathenistic hairstyle that you're looking at. It looks like that. Those are dreadlocks. Okay? Those are dreadlocks. And it's totally heathen. Dreadlocks goes back to they're called the Shiva Jatas. Shiva Jatas. Okay? If you Google dreadlocks, it goes back to a fake so-called East Indian god, okay, that had a hairstyle like that. Shiva Jatas. Matter of fact, let's type in Shiva. I believe the so-called god Shiva. That was the name of that so-called god, Shiva Jatas. Here we go, Shiva Jatas. Shiva Jatas, Bangalore, a page dedicated to the Jatas or dreadlocks of Lord Shiva. See that? So, you know, you wearing, which clearly looks like dreadlocks to me, you wearing that kind of hairstyle, you, whether you know it or not, you are worshiping another god. The so-called god Lord Shiva, because you wearing that hairstyle. a page dedicated to the jattas or dreadlocks of Lord Shiva and his disciples. You hold up, man. You're a disciple of Lord Shiva. Well, how can you say I'm a disciple of Lord Shiva? I'm a disciple of God and Most High God and Christ bless. No, you got the hairstyle of Lord Shiva. You're his disciple, man. Why does Shiva have dreadlocks? Shiva is said to have protected the earth from the deluge. Another word for deluge is flood, of the Ganges, the river Ganges that's located over there in India, through his hair. Now, anyone who believes that, anyone who believes that, they need their head examined. You're going to stop a deluge with your hair? You're going to stop a flood with your hair? And this is why the scriptures say, hold up, man. Hold up. The script.
And I'm going to just say this since since we're on this subject. What about Chief High Priest Al-Azhar? He got long hair. Well, guess what? When he was in the camp, and he kind of got put out the camp, and we was on our good side, then he was on our bad side. We used to do videos back and forth with him every week. And we told him that you're supposed to cut your hair, and to justify it, he said, I have long hair because I'm under the vow of a Nazarite. Which, if you under the law of a Nazarite, you can it's part of the vow is to grow your locks long. So he said he's a Nazarite, right? So I asked one of us asked a question, well, what are you going to do in the Passover? You got to drink wine, so you got to cut the locks. And he said something to the effect that, well, on the Passover, I drink honey wine, which is not grapes. So he covered himself on that, all right? So for the record, we got on him years ago. 15 plus, how many years? Shit. 10, 12 years ago, maybe. Something like that. See, this is the thing of the world. You had the dreadlocks in the world, and when you came into the truth, you didn't come into the truth as a new creature. You came in with your worldly stuff. I get girlies with this type of hair. Yeah, well, guess what? What if you get girlies because you dress up like a woman? Women like you because you dress up like a woman. You can't dress up like a woman. You can't wear high heeled stilettos, pumps, dresses and shit, women's panties, brassieres, wigs. You can't do that. So now, what I did here was, and if there's an actual hell, which there's not, so you can thank the Most High for that, you guys are all burned in hell too. That's talking about men and women. Israelite men and Israelite women are not supposed to wear or rock, dreadlocks. It's a custom of the heathens. The Most High clearly said, learn not the way of the heathens. He said in the law, a perfect example, the Canaanites. He said, don't marry them, don't make contracts with them, just kill them. Because if you allow your sons to marry your sons to marry their daughters and vice versa, they're going to cause you to follow their gods. So where am I? Ancient origins. Let me do this. The history of dreadlocks, a journey through time and culture. You may think you know all about dreadlocks, but are you really aware of the history and evolution of hairstyles? We tell you all about it. Now, if you go back to the 60s and you walked around with dreadlocks, a man or woman, they look at you, they'll get away from you. Something wrong with that guy. He's homeless. Ancient origins. And you had the 10 tribes, they were rocking dreadlocks too, because they were going on, they were eating dogs too. The Gadites were eating dogs. They would capture Esau, and they would, before they would kill him, they would pop him. Go into the history on that. I don't want Ricard jumping up talking about, nah, that didn't happen. That happened, man. Okay? I know you're ashamed of it, but it happened. Because them Gadites and them other tribes, they turned into heathens, man. The origins of dreadlocks can be traced back to ancient cultures around the world. The earliest written evidence of dreadlocks dates back to between 2500 and 1500 BC. The god Shiva, which the Apostle Gabar has spoken about, and like I said, I remember he did this back 2012, 2013 or whatever, or even before that. And his followers are described as chatta, meaning wearing knots of tangled hair. That's heathenistic, man. They are also found among ancient Egyptians, heathens, Buddhist monks, heathens. In India, heathens. Maori, those are the sons of Japhet, heathens. In New Zealand, and Maasai, which are them Hamites. In East Africa, Maasai tribes in East Africa, for example. So all these different cultures that I mentioned are all, the Egyptians are heathenistic, but the Buddhist monks, India, Maori, the Maasai, they're all heathens. Learn not the way of the heathens. And like I said, the title, I'm going to stick with the title. If you're rocking dreadlocks, you're going to burn in the lake of fire. For these cultures, dreadlocks were often a sign of what? Spiritual connection, wisdom, and belonging to a community. See, we here maintain that we're not for the community. We're not going to clean up. We're not going to rake up leaves. We're not going to take out the garbage. We're not going to line you up and give you sandwiches and canned food. We ain't come here for the community. The Most High set us up to teach the word to the elect. But that's not all. In Mexico, Mesoamerican, which are Israelite people, wore dreadlocks. Why did they wear dreadlocks? Because back there in Israel, they were following the goddamn heathens. And they said that when they came from Assyria, when they came to America, they said, we're going to keep the laws over here because there ain't no heathen around. But what you didn't realize is that you had Israelites that brought their heathenistic customs that they got from the heathens on the other side of the world. Wolofs in Senegal. Now, the Senegalese, you have Israelites among the Senegalese, which they followed the way of the heathens. Locks were worn by kings and the Tido warrior class, Celtics and Viking people, which the original Celtics and Vikings were Jake, also wore them. In short, dreadlocks have been adopted by many people around the world for thousands of years. The whole Rastafarian thing was centered around that heathen, which, by the way, was an Elamite, not an Ethiopian, by a man by the name of Haile Selassie, which when he came to Jamaica, they worshiped him as a god. He didn't know. He said, I'm a god? To show you how bad. And Rastafari is not the truth, man. Now, she looked like a heathen, so. And all these crazy niggas that shoot up motherfuckers, they always got crazy locks, like that guy Fulio. he seen them damn crazy locks, and he went around saying that he's a Hebrew Israelite. The scripture said, the Apostle Paul said, let everything be done decency and in order. You got a man walking around talking about he's an Israelite with fringes on, with dreadlocks down his back. That's the way of the heathens. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. With that, it's on to the next one. Shalom.